At 12:08 p.m. in Baghdad, 17 civilians were still alive. They didn't know a billion-dollar company had already finished them. This wasn't a battlefield. This wasn't a raid. This was a traffic circle in the middle of Baghdad. Cars are stuck everywhere, horns blaring, people sweating in the heat, kids sitting in the back seats, bored and restless. A normal afternoon in the city that's already exhausted by war. Then Blackwater shows up. Armored trucks, dark windows, rifles ready. These guys live by one rule: hesitate and you die. In Iraq, everyone knows it. You don't get close to American convoys, and you absolutely don't get close to Blackwater. At exactly 12:08 p.m., a Blackwater unit called Raven 23 rolls into Nisour Square. This is where everything breaks. According to Blackwater, a white car approaches too fast, too close, too aggressive. They say they warned it. Hand signals, laser pointers, maybe a flashbang. Witnesses say something very different. They say there were no warnings, no signals, no chance to react, just confusion. Then the first shots are fired, and once that happens, the situation spirals instantly. Gunfire tears across the square, windows explode, cars slam into each other. Drivers jump out and run, leaving doors open, engines still running. People don't know where to go, so they run everywhere. Some run straight into traffic, some freeze in place, some never even get the chance. A man bleeds out in his driver's seat. A woman screams next to a burning car. Parents are suddenly searching for children they were holding seconds earlier. This is no longer security. This is panic with automatic weapons. Blackwater contractors fire from armored vehicles in higher positions, scanning for threats that may or may not be real. To them, Nisour Square looks like a kill zone. Wide, open, impossible to control. To the civilians trapped inside it, it's pure chaos. After several minutes, the shooting finally stops. 17 Iraqi civilians are dead. More than 20 are wounded. Women, children, a medical student who never even stepped out of his car. No confirmed attackers, no recovered weapons, no clear justification for that level of force. And this is where Blackwater's real problem begins. Because this didn't happen somewhere remote where reports disappear. It happened in broad daylight in one of Baghdad's busiest intersections, surrounded by witnesses and survivors. By the afternoon, Iraqi media is calling it a massacre. By the evening, the Iraqi government is furious, and by the next morning, Blackwater is in serious trouble. The contractors involved are flown out of Iraq immediately, not arrested, not questioned locally, just gone. From Blackwater's perspective, this is standard procedure: protect your people. From Iraq's perspective, it looks like Americans killed civilians and walked away. That perception is devastating. Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki announces that Blackwater is banned from operating in Iraq. Protests erupt. Across the region, headlines repeat the same phrase over and over again: American mercenaries. Inside the US Embassy, panic sets in. Because Blackwater isn't just some random company, they're everywhere. Guarding diplomats, protecting officials, doing jobs the US military doesn't have enough people to handle. And now, their name is toxic. Back in Washington, politicians scramble. Cable news suddenly asks a question most Americans had never really thought about before. Who exactly are these guys? They're not soldiers, so military law doesn't apply. They're not civilians, so civilian law barely touches them. For years, Blackwater lived comfortably in this gray zone, protected by contracts, loopholes, and political usefulness. Nisour Square drags all of it into the open. The FBI opens a criminal investigation. Congress announces hearings. Lawsuits from victims' families start piling up fast. Even the IRS takes an interest, because once Washington decides you're the problem, every agency wants a closer look. Overnight, the name Blackwater becomes radioactive. Officials distance themselves. Contracts get reviewed. Some are frozen. Others quietly disappear. Phone calls stop getting returned. Inside the company, reality hits hard. This isn't bad press. This could end everything. Blackwater was built on one thing above all else: Trust from the US government. Not public trust, political trust. And that trust is gone. Critics jump in immediately. Nisour Square becomes the perfect symbol of everything people hate about privatized war. Massive firepower, civilians caught in the middle, and no clear accountability. At this point, it doesn't even matter if that picture is completely fair. The story is already decided. By late 2007, Blackwater isn't just a company name. It's a scandal, a warning sign, something politicians pretend they never supported. Behind closed doors, damage control turns into survival mode. Lawyers work non-stop, PR teams argue, and Eric Prince, the founder, reaches a brutal conclusion. The brand is dead, so they don't try to fix it, they erase it. Blackwater disappears, at least on paper. The company rebrands as Z Services. Later, it becomes Academy. Same people, same skills, different name. The private army survives, but Blackwater doesn't. Years later, some contractors are convicted. Appeals follow. Presidential pardons eventually close the legal chapter, but not the debate. Even today, people still argue about what really happened at Nisour Square. Was it a security situation that spiraled out of control in seconds? Or proof that giving civilians military power in a war zone is fundamentally dangerous? Depends who you ask, but one thing is clear. September 16, 2007 was the day Blackwater stopped being untouchable. The day a company built to stay invisible was dragged into the spotlight. And the day everyone learned a simple rule about power and war. You can survive bullets, you can survive lawsuits, but if you embarrass the people protecting you politically, you're done.